All right, what's up, everybody? What's up, all the Chavos and Chavettes, all the loyal fam? What is going on? This is Chelas con Chavos. We back for another one. It's been a hot minute, but we had to rest our old vocal cords, right, Miguel?
Yeah, yeah, definitely had to rest the chords, man. After I kid you not, man. After that LA Galaxy game, my voice was gone for probably a good week, and I'm still kind of recovering now. But it was definitely a much needed break. Not even just for us too. I mean, but I'm pretty sure for the club as well.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, we'll get to all that juicy stuff. There's a lot of stuff I want to get into with the away day over at Carson. Um, and but yeah, there's a lot of stuff I want to talk about. My voice was shot too, man. It was a exciting day and night, and yeah, I'm not as young as I used to be.
Oh
But you
man,
know what?
it's gonna get
But
better. It's gonna get better as we get older, right?
yeah, a lot of honey, a lot of limon.
A lot of halls, Vicks Vaporub, everything.
Alls like a week's rest and everything. So,
Yeah,
but no, hey, so I know it's been a hot minute since we talked. The Louisville match obviously got past us. I feel like a lot of people believe that even Landon probably too everyone was thinking more about the Open Cup match against LA Galaxy.
yep,
So I kind of want to start it off and kind of I know we didn't we talked about the um, uh, well, we didn't really talk much about what happened before that. The match
yeah,
against Charleston Battery, that was a beatdown.
yep.
Loyal against Battery, beat them down pretty bad. But then went to Oakland, right, and then didn't really do so well up there. And then obviously against Louisville, everybody was like, "Oh, well, let's see how we do against Louisville," because they're like top club, the East. Didn't obviously go our way, but I wanted to get into that one more, in depth in regards to the lineup because it affected really what happened over in Carson, right?
It did. It very did. It definitely had it had an impact of the players that were available for the U.S. Open Cup game. I got actually the lineup right here. For that game, it was on paper, it was a pretty decent lineup, but it definitely wasn't their best lineup at all. They could have put up forward, but that just kind of goes to show that Landon Donovan did actually take a gamble and try to put the best foot forward against Los Angeles Galaxy for the Open Cup game. So like in the back, they had Austin Guerrero, Nico Boxall, Kyle Adams, Grant Stoneman, Kyle Audrey, yeah, Jack Metcalf, Camden Riley, Mostrabani, Hackworth, Andrew Carlton, and Thomas Amang. So that was the starting lineup for against Louisville FC.
Yeah, like, oh man, I don't know why Thomas Mann was up in there, man. I don't know why, because it seemed like to me like the games that he's played, he's like a workhorse.
Yeah,
Workhorses. He it looks like he gives it all on the pitch, but he could be prone to probably like a cramp or like pulling a muscle. So it's like, oh man, like why did he play? Because he was so needed. And guess what? He got injured and didn't play against Galaxy, which to me, I feel like the outcome would have been completely different if
I think he definitely would have had a pretty good outcome for sure if having that extra threat up front. Um, I think probably could have gotten us that extra pressure to maybe even score like a decent goal against the
yeah.
Galaxy. Uh, but at the same time, I mean, you kind of have to. It's still a league game, and it's against the East leaders. So I mean, you still got to be able to put some sort of effort into that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't want to get embarrassed, but then again, look what happened. It was a 5-2, scoreline at the end.
Yeah,
It shouldn't have been that way. I feel
I
like
don't
my
think so.
it should not have been that way. I think my Brant, the Pitbull Stoneman, he messed up. He's been messing up the past few weeks, man. I think he messed up, with that chicken wing, little ball, handball that he had,
Yeah,
inside the penalty box, which obviously kind of changed the whole outcome of that match. And also against a Galaxy too. He didn't have a really good match against Galaxy either. So man, I don't know what you want to call it. Maybe the talent was just way above him. I don't know what you think about that, but but he hasn't been
Uh,
playing too well this past couple weeks.
no, he hasn't. And I mean, yeah, like going back to the score line, I mean, yeah, it was definitely 5-2 was not it was definitely not the type of score line that it should have been. I think it should have been a tie. Maybe even if they lost by one, I would have been fine with it. But you get I mean think about it, they give 2 penalty kicks and then that garbage goal at the end. That's 3 goals right there. I mean, that would have kept the game
Yeah,
2-2
yeah,
for the whole game. But I mean, the good part about it is that, there was a lot of people that made the drive down from Louisville. We got to meet a few of them, got to talk to some of the supporters, and that was actually pretty fun. It's definitely one of those games where I think San Diego is one of those games people circle on their calendar, not just because of the match, but because it's a possible vacation. So it was
yeah.
nice. It was nice to see that they had a few people showing up.
Hey man, so talk about that because I wasn't at that game, so I wasn't even aware that there was actually Louisville fans there. Like, how many do you think there was?
Oh, well, they the in the supporter section, it's I think they filled up maybe about half of the supporter section that we gave them for the away side. They were there. I mean, they sang a few songs here and there. They weren't definitely like the 90 plus people. I don't know if it was just because we were sitting in 109, but we just really couldn't hear them sing that much. I'm pretty sure they were there. They were very animated. They definitely cheered whenever they scored and stuff like that. You could see them kind of looking over at us. We kind of do our songs against them, and yeah, at halftime I actually went over there and just introduced myself to a few of their guys. And we saw them up there, up the stairs too. Like after the game, once we brought everything over, so they were getting ready to go back home. But it was actually very nice to be able to see a bunch of them. I mean, they were super nice people. Very, just you want to make sure everybody just has a good time coming to San Diego. And we definitely don't want to be that club where it's not a welcoming environment. You know what I mean?
That brings up a good point, Miguel, because how you just said that people, clubs that are obviously not from San Diego are they're putting a circle on that date
Hmm.
against SC Loyal and like, hey man, let's go to San Diego. Spring, summertime here. Like, who doesn't want to be here? So like I wouldn't doubt it that Louisville fans will be like, hey, let's get out of Louisville, Kentucky. Kentucky, right? Am I tripping? Like,
It,
getting out of there to go to San Diego, right?
yeah, and and the
So
cool part about Louisville is that's actually one of those clubs. The very it's a very like it's a franchise with a lot of history, and I know there was a I don't know if you remember a few years back when they just rebranded to like Lou City or something very small, and
yeah.
they changed their crest, and that fan base really just they were just up in arms about like these changes that were just like this is not representing the club, and that change only lasted for like a week, and then they went back to what they were. So that just
Yeah.
kind of goes to show you how passionate that fan base is, and they're definitely one of the examples of how USL fan bases can make positive changes for their clubs.
Yeah. And then not only that, they have one of the most beautifulest stadiums in all of USL,
Oh yeah,
which I really wanted to get into, at the tail end of our discussion tonight, because there's some news that came out in regards to the Midway projects, all the five, bids or projects that are planned on trying to win the project. Uh, the main one for the Midway area, and then just like the experience we had in LA too, right?
yeah.
Um, but let's finish on finishing off with what happened at the match against Louisville. Anything to note? You spoke with some of the fans there. Like, how do they like San Diego? So I'm pretty sure they thought that it was really cool that you guys introduced yourselves to them and stuff like that. What's their
Yeah.
supporters group name, anyways?
They have quite a few. I think they have like 2 or 3 supporters groups. As far as official one goes, I didn't actually really get to see their name, but let me look it up real fast.
I think it's the Coopers. Isn't it the
Coopers,
Coopers?
yeah, the Coopers are one of them, and they one of those groups actually supports the women's team as well. So
Okay.
they let's see, Louisville FC supporters. Yeah, so you got the Coopers, and then I think that's pretty much it for. No, wait, they got uh
I'm sure they have a couple more.
yeah, they have a couple more. Yeah, But yeah, the Coopers seem to be their main ones, but I don't want to definitely offend any of them. You got the Coopers, you got the Ledge Hogs, the Lou City Ladies, the Scouse's House, and the Sheep's Pen. Those are the five supporter groups that Louisville City has. So five official supporter groups. That's pretty big. That's quite a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, so how was the conversation with them, and then how did they like San Diego and the I'm sure you guys welcome them with some warmth.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's definitely one of those things. We just kind of Sam and I went down there. We're like, hey, we're just introducing ourselves to them. Hope they're having a good time. Hope they're having a safe time. And told them, you know what, like if we start directing some chance at you, it's nothing personal. We're just, it's just the game thing, right? And they no, they were actually they're really nice. They reciprocated, that kind of feeling. And then once the game was over, I said we saw them go up there. They were just kind of planning to continue the rest of the night. Probably go out to a few bars, and then after that, they were planning on heading home.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, welcome everybody. Is welcome here, except for who. I'm not gonna get into that. No, but all right. So let's finish it off, man. Let's get into what happened in LA, man, because I want to talk about this so much. Let's get into it. And I wanna say some breaking news right now. Like
Yeah.
for me, I'm not sure if everybody knows, but I was born in Los Angeles.
What?
Uh, Yeah, I came to San Diego as a juvenile, in my elementary years, so I really can't say that I was there, for majority of my life. Majority of my life is spent here in San Diego, right? But I've always supported, in my whole life, a lot of LA teams, right? But I'm not gonna get into which ones, but what I'm trying to say is that going up there, I really must say it was really awkward for me just because this is the first time ever. Breaking news, everybody. Breaking news. First time ever in my life, I was going to my hometown where I was born and rooting against a team that's from where I was born, right? I've never done that in my whole life. Like, I've watched Lakers, shoot, even Clippers. Like, if the Clippers are in the playoffs, somebody when they were doing well, I was like, yeah, I'm not a Clippers fan, but I was like, yeah, I hope they do well. They're representing, LA, but obviously, I'm San Diego to the bone now. I've been living here for over 30 years, and my kids are born here and stuff like that. But it felt kind of awkward going over there, and supporting a team. There was a beat LA, obviously, that we were chanting in our section, and obviously what happened, obviously, against Louisville, right?
Yeah.
There was chants of beat LA and stuff like that, but it was really awkward for me. But I'm to the bone, loyal to the soil, and SD loyal supporter. So that kind of went away after I started feeling like Galaxy supporter groups were kind of seeing us, and kind of like it looked like to me they were sizing us up a lot. Let's get down to the nitty gritty. Like when we showed up, there was a lot of just like people looking at us, and then they weren't sure what to say about us. They weren't sure probably what to think about us, because there was we had the 3 buses show up, right? Um, we had the locals bus, and then obviously the ST loyal buses that came, and then we all made up at a certain section of the parking lot, where 2 of the SGs were. One of them was welcoming us with open arms, another one wasn't so much. And then but the one that was not welcoming us so much were really trying to size us up, and then there's a few moments where they're trying to instigate a little bit of a verbal conflict, in regards to this is LA and stuff like that, which was kind of cool, because it's like like they knew that this is Landon Donovan's team. San Diego was right up the freeway. There's going to be a lot of supporters here, so they were just kind of like, wow, like there's a couple hundreds of us fans, right? And then but and then there's a couple more things I'll get into a little bit, but I want to see what you thought, because I don't know what I didn't see you there. I
Uh,
mean, I did see you there, but I didn't see you pre-match.
Yeah, no, so the pre-match, for anybody that doesn't know, right now I'm in Los Angeles. I'm over in Burbank, Van Nuys area doing some active duty time. But I was able to actually drive myself down after work. I didn't actually the plan was to leave work a little bit early and then try to get down to the stadium to meet you guys for the pregame. Um, that didn't really work out. So I just had to kind of drive myself out and I got there right at game time. So as
Yeah.
soon as the national anthem stopped, that's when I made myself, that's when I was able to get into the stadium and, the first thing I did was just rushed over to that side because I just did not wanna miss a moment. But yeah, I was not aware of any of the pregame stuff, it's just like, just hear about it, over the grapevine, but I did not hear any of it, and I kinda wish I was able to experience that, especially taking the bus trip up. But no, I just kinda drove myself up there. That's it.
Yeah, there is a lot of people that were up there that I have never seen before in my life, which are probably people that live in LA that are ST Lowell supporters. Because there were several people I've never seen in my life that were there, and I'm sure they live in San Diego or maybe they're Orange County, and they say, hey, let's go to nearby Carson
Yeah.
and go to the match.
Well, it
Um,
wasn't just 109 people too. I think it was just because the buses were offered for all season ticket holders. So
exactly.
it was definitely more I think those are the people that kind of sit in other sections of the stadium. So I mean that's why we don't know them very often. But the
Yeah,
good part about it is that they were able to experience that
exactly.
109 section, temporarily,
Exactly.
even if it was just for one game.
Yeah,
Um, that
exactly.
109 feel. And hopefully, we can get more people showing up in 109, but at least now, um, it was to me, I don't know, man. It was weird to see. I don't even know how to explain it, man. Just to be in a soccer stadium, in a soccer specific stadium, especially like
Yeah,
one like the one in Carson. Even though it's not one of the nicer stadiums, it's definitely one of the more historic ones in the United States because it was one of the first soccer specific stadiums, to be a prime
yeah.
time area, right? And we were there, we made noise, and people noticed. And I was looking
Oh,
around,
hell
and
yeah.
I was looking around. Um, from the section to the left and the right, there was a lot of Galaxy people there too. A lot of the different, a lot of the different, just regular fans there, and they were looking over. We were singing, they were looking. I mean, I did not lose my voice for anything. That I
Yeah,
lost it because I was at some points I was yelling more than I was singing because I
yeah,
just wanted to be louder and I just wanted to get louder and it felt
yeah,
very loud.
yeah, yeah. Like I said, there was nervousness. Like when we got to the parking lot before the pre-match. And I'm gonna give props to LA Riot Squad. One of the supporters groups for Galaxy. They're the ones that welcomed, the ST Laurel supporters in their pre-match, event. So I'm gonna give props to them. I didn't go inside in their section just because I wanted to be around our people and kind of just talk with some of our people, the ones that did go up there, because there's some people that I met that I never met before that were ST Little supporters, so that was cool. So I kind of wanted to hang out with our crew. But a lot of locals and other ST Little supporters did go into the LA Riot Squad area, like pre-match party area, which is great. I really respect them for doing that. And but yeah, there was just all kinds of people just showing up. Just it's people might say Carson, Carson's not LA, Carson's not LA, whatever. But there's all kinds of hardcore LA Galaxy Ultras showing up. And then, but again, I feel like they were sizing us up. They're looking at us like, who are these? Who are this lot? Who are these lot right here? Like they're they're thinking we're probably the second biggest uh supporters group that's probably been there besides like LAFC.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I know there's been Portland Timbers have a pretty good following. They've been there before, and other MLS supporters groups probably. But I'm pretty sure we're probably one of the biggest supporters groups that's probably showed up, for an away game at their stadium, right? And
Hmm.
then so I'm pretty sure like they're probably like who are these SC Lowell supporters? They're looking at us, we're looking at them, But inside the stadium, it was amazing what we did. Like our voices were 10 times louder than I think they were at Torero, because everyone knew what was at stake here. We
Yeah.
had to show we had to show what we're about. We had to show what we're what we've been trying to bring, to the, the whole SG culture, ST Lowell culture in San Diego. And there was our moment to do it right there. And
Yeah.
and I'm gonna tell you right now, man, like walking into that stadium, it was historical for me because it's the first time I've been there. First time I've been there, I've seen it on TV multiple times, many times, it was just like I was kind of in awe being in there, and then just being like in a soccer specific stadium.
Yep.
How you're saying, it was beautiful, easy to get to, plenty of parking, tailgating, very sizable area around it, open. And we
Yep.
got in, they have the concession stands, and then they also have around the stadium, they have different fields like soccer fields
Yeah.
and different type of sports. It's right next to Cal State Dominguez Hills,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
so
actually in their campus.
so it's there's a lot of stuff going on around there, but I'm gonna tell you right now, I just wanted to tell you that I went to go to the concession stand when I went in, and like the match was like almost starting, and then there everybody from our section, from the SLO section was already chanting, and then it was like a couple minutes after the game started, and then it was like the first or second minute, but I go to the concession stand to get some food, and I was like, man, the Galaxy supporters are being really loud right now, but I couldn't really decipher what the verbiage was. And I was like, man, like I was thinking because there was obviously we're a couple hundred, and there were obviously a couple thousand, right, of the Galaxy supporters or Galaxy fans, and I was like, oh man, these Galaxy supporters are being pretty loud. I was like, wait a minute. I started listening to it, and I was like, I'm recognizing those chants. I'm like, wait a minute, that's us. I was like, what the and I was like, wait a minute, that's us right there. I was like, I recognize this song. I was like, what the hell? I was like, we sound so freaking loud. I couldn't even hear the Galaxy supporters on the opposite end or anywhere. We were being the loudest
It
I've ever heard us before.
you know what, and I reciprocate the same feeling, man, because it was and when I walk in, obviously the gate that you walked into was the one of the main LA supporter areas, right? Like it's right behind the goal. So you kind of have to walk around the whole way, and just as walking around, just walking to the seat, you could definitely hear the loyal supporters just just kind of
Wow.
going off, man. Uh, and that kind of inspired me to just keep going with this because if we
Yeah.
ever do get that soccer specific stadium, um, I want to be a part of that, man. I want to be there from day one, and
Yeah.
even if it doesn't happen, at least I got to experience, cheering a San Diego team, a San Diego soccer team, at a U.S. Open Cup in a soccer
Yeah.
specific stadium, and it was probably one of the best moments, that in my entire San Diego's aficionado life. Just
Yeah.
the fact that I got to do that, and it was definitely a good moment.
Yeah, it was amazing. Like I said, it was so amazing. I think sometimes you might take for granted a little bit. Like, we have a strong, following at Torero. And
Mhm.
sometimes you might feel like, oh, like this is us and this is what we do. And we see the same people and we're just doing what we do, but when we go somewhere on a away day and then just like the passion just get pumps, gets pumped up times 10. And then it shows, like it showed hardcore. And then
It
all
did.
the supporters there in the stadium saw it
It
and
did.
were like, wow, like ST Loyals on social media, like wow, ST Loyal's bringing it, or the supporters for ST Loyal are bringing it. They're doing something. Um, for the most part, the majority of the supporters for LA Galaxy were very respectful. But they saw what we brought, and then it looked like to me they're a little bit intrigued, a little bit of what we were doing. They weren't familiar with what our chants were. They weren't familiar of our "We Are," our San Diego "We Are" type chants, and then they looked like to me they were pretty amazed. It wasn't obviously a packed house because obviously during the week in Open Cup
Yeah,
we
it
had a
wasn't.
obviously, I'm sure a lot of people realize that the part of the stadium that the camera was facing was completely empty. they closed it off, but right on the, I want to say it was the west end, maybe like the west part of the stadium.
Yep.
If I get my if I got my tracking, my north, south, west, east tracking correctly, but everybody was on that side,
Yeah.
and but it was amazing just to see like the people that did show up. It was a couple thousand, and then just like the loudness of everybody was just giving it times 10. Like it was just amazing. And then
Yeah. It
um
stepped up also when Chicharito started warming up.
yeah,
You could just feel the level of effort, went up like about maybe by a couple, a couple times.
yeah, we got two balls in the mic. What's up, fellas? Yeah, SC representamos San Diego, right?
Yeah, yeah,
We represented hardcore. And man, like they know what's up. They know what's up now. Like they know if we play them again next year, the following year, of anything, like they're gonna know what's up. Maybe next year we get freaking LAFC or
yeah.
something.
I
You know
know
what I mean?
that would be even oh man, that would be amazing too. But actually, you know what? Before you bring it up though, now that I wanted to ask you, I know Dignity Health Sports Park is what about 20,000 seats, 27,000 seats or something like that.
I believe it's 20 around 20, 21K.
Yeah, about 20. Oh, yeah, and so I couldn't help but thinking, like if that stadium was in San Diego, would we be able to fill that up? Because that's almost exactly what's gonna happen when Snapdragon Stadium comes in, right? They're gonna want us to move there, and that's probably about 12,000 seats more than Dignity Health Sports Park. Is that something that we can do as a city, fill up that stadium for a USL club?
Well, you know what? I want to talk to about this. And this is let's just do it now.
Yeah,
I feel like we won't. I feel like, and I'm gonna be straight up here because the attendance has been going down a little bit in the past couple of weeks at Torero.
yep.
We were on top, right? Right now we're not on top. Right now the standings are, I believe,
3rd
we're like
place.
third or fourth, right?
Yeah,
When we were riding high the past couple of weeks, we're the seventh. Last time I checked, when we were at the playing against Galaxy, we're against Louisville. We're around 17th in attendance. OC, Orange County was above us. Tulsa was above us.
yeah,
Tulsa, Oklahoma, it was above ST Loyalist attendance numbers. And and to be honest, I've been talking about this for since last year too. That like I'm not sure that SD Loyal going into the Aztec Stadium or Snapdragon Stadium, that it's gonna look optically really good for us having so many empty seats.
yeah,
It's just not gonna have that same vibe,
yeah.
as
I'm
Torero.
After that game in Los Angeles, I think I don't think the club is there yet to be able to fill up a stadium. And I know what people are saying, like, "Oh, you just moved to Snapdragon and all this stuff. Get an MLS team." Is Yeah, it's a lot easier said than done. But I'm after going to LA Galaxy, I'm strongly opposed to moving into Snapdragon. Um, I haven't actually been around in San Diego to see how the Midway stuff has been kind of working out. So I don't know if you could fill me in on that.
Yeah, so the whole the I want to say the San Diego Council. I mean, I'm not really familiar with all that stuff right now, but I'm not sure if it was the supervisors, the city's San Diego city supervisors, or the council. But there was I want to say it was the council. Um, they had a listening session on all the five bids, that are getting proposed for the Midway project, and
Yeah,
and I'm gonna talk about. And I got some notes on this, but the thing what I got was that a couple months ago, so they were saying that they wanted to minimize the bids to kind of get more. They want to get more focused on, like, all right, which one of these bids are ready to go? They have the funds, they're ready to rock and roll, and which ones are they? And let's get rid of like two bids.
yeah,
Good thing about the Midway Plus Village, or the Midway Plus project, was that they were ready to go, right? They're ready to go. They had everything in order, and it was ready to go. But during this session, the council was saying that they wanted to actually have all five, get in depth of what they're going to propose, because they wanted to make sure they do it the right way. They don't want to be rushed into it. They want to make sure to do it the right way. They want to make sure it's good for San Diego, right?
Mhm.
Now, what I got from that was that to me, it didn't. I don't think it came out good. You know, it, obviously, I don't understand these things too well because obviously, I'm not a politician. But from what I got from it, it's going to have a delay. It's going to be delayed because now what has to be done now, there were people who are asking for uh, the
Environmental
environment
impact.
impact,
Yeah.
the financial impact, who's going to be paying for this? Is the city of San Diego going to have to be paying for extra money for traffic control on if there's an arena, stuff like that? Like what's going to be going on with the surrounding businesses? All of these kinds of stuff that I'm not going to, I'm not familiar with. But what it looked like to me was that it's going to be prolonged. And what another thing was concerning to me was that they had some callers coming in that were commenting Point Loma, people that live in Mission Hills, people that live in the Midway area, and a lot of college students, which check this out, which I don't know if it's a conspiracy, but a lot of college students, I'm not sure if they're from SDSU, but I think I was a little bit upset about this, to be honest here. But a lot of college students are calling in complaining about the rent prices in San Diego, which in my opinion is like, you're not worthy to complain about that. I should be worthy to complain about that. You should be worthy to complain about that. You as a student from where are you from? Arizona. A lot of zonies go to SDSU. You're from Nebraska, where the rent's cheap. For you to come over here to San Diego and complain about the prices of the rent, and they were saying, these college
Yeah.
students were saying they don't
Yeah,
like
no, I think,
sports. They
yeah, they
don't
don't
let
like
me
sports.
Yeah, if you don't mind, let me finish this point. It's like they don't like sports. They want housing. They don't care about the arena.
Yeah.
What do you think?
No, that's definitely true. I think that's the one driving force behind a lot of this stuff right now in San Diego, especially, right? It's just housing. Everybody just wants cheaper rent. The rent's too damn high. Um, but and unfortunately, I think that's kind of been that's been the argument for every single, against any other sports arena or any other sports stadium going into into these areas, right? It's just like people don't want to have the sport. People just want to have housing, and
Yeah,
the more expensive housing is just gonna. It's one of those things where just because we build more houses doesn't necessarily mean that the rent's going to keep going down, right? People are still going to be paying ridiculous amounts of prices for rent.
yeah.
I mean, the rent's not going to automatically go down thousands of dollars because they built this new
Yeah,
50
be
house complex, right?
yeah, because
Um,
there just because 3,000 apartment complexes or condos are gonna be built doesn't mean your rent's gonna go down.
yeah, those I'm pretty sure those condos are going to be worth like about $4,000, $4,000
Yeah,
a month. And it's not going to make it go any cheaper. It's just literally housing is just on its own. It's a whole different monster. But I don't think yeah, I don't really like that either. I think we should just really concentrate on, replacing the sports arena and if they can get a San Diego Loyal Stadium in there, that'd be awesome. But that, again, that's a little selfish, from on our part, right? That's kind of that's what we want to see go in there. Um, but I just I kind of hope it works out because I don't want to move to Snapdragon after experiencing Los Angeles. I just do not want to
yeah.
move there right now because we're not ready.
No, and a few things here I wanted to add. So I wanted to finish off with that about that what I overheard in the whole meeting
Hmm.
was that there was a lot of students calling in, which I don't know if people at SCSU were telling their people to don't make this happen because Snapdragon is going to lose money or something like that or whatever, because we need to somehow pull SD Loyal into our stadium. We need to pull SD Wave into our stadium, because imagine, do you think SD Wave is going to continue it? They got a hot ticket in town. And the NWSL is pulling some good numbers,
Yeah.
but do you think Wave is going to be continue playing at Snapdragon if there's a proper soccer specific stadium? modular at Midway.
No,
Probably not, right?
no.
So I don't know. To me, it seemed like it was a conspiracy that there was way too many college students that aren't even from San Diego calling in and saying they want housing, housing, housing. And then what? And again, the point being is that the council decided on that they're going to prolong the process. They're going to want to get everything, all the information from all the five bidders, and they're gonna decide on what to do. I believe sometime like after May or June or something like that. But to me, like I don't see the whole thing going on, and then being built, even if it does get passed and all these things, and it goes on the ballot or whatnot. It's not gonna be for multiple years, probably not till like 2024, 25, maybe even 26 when the World Cup's gonna be coming. But in the meantime, I have a strong feeling that we're going to be playing at Snapdragon. Now, the problem, if I may, I want to say about Snapdragon compared to Dignity Health was uh, Miguel that roof or the canopy, right? Like
Yeah,
I've been kind of complaining about that on social media about like how are you gonna have some like 1980s looking stadium, like just look at SoFi up in LA, right?
yep,
They have that canopy. Why? Because it keeps in the noise and it makes just the ambiance better. Not only that, from the sun, because it does get hot in
yeah.
California. The
Oh, yeah.
weather it does get hot. Mission Valley gets freaking hot. And they didn't even think about that. They made it some like box kind of 1980s, like, you know, Nebraska looking stadium, 1980s college looking stadium. And they didn't even put any canopies or anything because they didn't put canopies on that. I don't know why, but I'm telling you that it made such a big difference at the Dignity Health Sports Park having that there because it just like the echo of just the chants and everything was just like multiplied. Not only because everybody was yelling the top of their lungs, but also kept a lot of the sound in.
Yeah. No, it's true, man. It's just, and I think they did say that, maybe at some point you could probably add canopies, but it I don't think it's gonna be the same as actually having, an amplification, like, kinda like they do at Dignity Health Sports Park, right? Or even like the one over in, where the LAFC play, Bank of California Stadium, and it really does make a difference, man. It makes a huge difference, especially when people start chanting, the group start chanting, the game gets going, the whistle gets blown. You can actually hear, players on the field yelling because of that. That sound does
Yeah.
it reverberate. You know what I mean? I know a few years ago I went to a Red Bull game over in Red Bull Arena, and I mean that arena
Oh
itself,
yeah.
that place is just so underrated.
It looks
Um,
nice. It looks nice on TV.
yeah, it looks nice on TV, and I mean when you get in there, it's like I mean the seats are the angles are just kind of like you feel like you're on top of the pitch, and when you could hear the supporter group over there making noise and everything, just it just amplifies everything. I
Yeah.
think Snapdragon, that's where they kind of messed up,
Yeah.
um, but I mean, their number one priority is the San Diego State football, right? That's what it's being
Of
built
course.
for, and everybody else is just going to be secondary. So if they do want to add canopies later in the future, I think they're willing to do that for MLS teams. I don't think teams like the Loyal or even the Wave are going to
Yeah.
be able to convince them to do that.
Yeah, but looking at it getting built now, it just looks like to me like something that some designer just built, having like some like 1980s like college football stadium from the Midwest kind of look. It doesn't look nothing special to me. Even one end is just like a they don't even have like a south end. I think it is. It's just like kind of like grass and just people can just like kind of almost like Torero.
Yeah,
You just like put a blanket there, kind of like Petco Park 2 in essence. That I don't know what you call it area, but you can just pull blankets up and just be there with your kids, and then just kind of just like, hey, just watch this game over here, like 300 yards away. You know what I'm saying? Like that doesn't make sense to me. Like I don't like that. But to me, like going back to the main point here is that if we go to Snapdragon, oh man, there's gonna be a lot of empty seats. It's way big. It's like almost twice the size as freaking Dignity Health.
yeah,
And Dignity Health was not packed when we went. And think about it, that's LA. That's LA Galaxy. They couldn't even fill that. There wasn't enough
and they were getting free
uh
tickets.
interest to have enough of a 20K capacity stadium to get filled up.
Yeah,
It was like not even a quarter. Not even a quarter of it was filled up, but there was a lot of people there. But it wasn't even, I could, I was just picturing this too. I was just picturing, imagine if this match was during the weekend. Imagine if the Open Cup match against Galaxy was on a weekend, and more ST Low supporters could have went, and more Galaxy supporters could have went. How much more fun it could have been,
yeah,
right?
yeah. And the U.S. Open Cup, they traditionally do schedule the games during the middle
Yeah,
of the week because that way it doesn't interrupt
of course.
the process. But
Yeah,
yeah, no, I feel you. I understand. I completely agree. If it was on a weekend, it definitely would have been more fan base from them, and definitely more fans from us would have been able to make the trip. But speaking of that, we actually did have a bunch of fans show up at the Chavos viewing party down there in Three Punk Ale. Um, and from what they were telling me, there was a bunch of people that they like, we didn't see before. So that's great. People are loving it, man. People are just they're excited for the team. And we had last couple of bad games. Nothing crazy. I like we talked before. The Louisville game could have definitely been that could have easily been a tie. We just kind of messed up. And then the Galaxy game, 1-0. It against a
yeah,
good Galaxy team. And now I think we're recharged, and I think the fan base is definitely recharged after that game up in
oh
Los
yeah,
Angeles.
yeah. And we only went down 1-0, and I'm gonna call it. It was a fluke goal. It was a
Again,
fluke goal. Went off like the sidebar, came and obviously knocked it in. But again, Stoneman was involved in that play, right? And that it was a fluke goal. I don't think they really got one up on us. They did a really hell of a job though. Like I was talking to Lance, Chavo Lance, there at the match, and then uh, I was explaining to him, pretty much that man, like in the beginning, in the first 15, 20 minutes, ST Lowell could have went up a goal, at least one.
yeah,
We were being really offensive and stuff like that. But later on, when the game started wearing, going down, I feel like ST Lowell players were kind of getting a little bit tired. Guido was really good in the first half. He started getting really upset. Probably the referee. It looked like there was probably some favoritism
he stepped
there.
it up a notch for sure.
Yeah, he looked like he was just ready to showcase his talent. I think Elijah Martin kicked butt.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, he was. He had a
yeah,
crazy. Yeah, he had crazy like. I mean, he was on another level too. Elijah, man, that guy, he turned it up, man.
yeah. The defense did well. The defense did well for the most part. Like I said, it was a fluke goal. I'm not gonna blame a certain person on it, but I think everyone busted their chops. But I think the Galaxy's talent were just obviously a notch up a little bit. But I feel like we could have, if we had like a Thomas Amang, we had a healthy squad. Like if Jack Blake was healthy, and we had a healthy squad, I think we could have matched them up 1-for-1 and ended up that night with a draw. It would have went to penalties, and then who knows what could have
Yeah,
happened. That
yeah,
was my opinion. But another thing, going back to the whole stadium thing, was that this is what happens in your own stadium. You can do what you want at your own stadium, right? You can tailgate, you can have all kinds of food trucks that you want. But I thought it was really, really hilarious, and it's so LA, But I want something that's going to be so San Diego when we have our own stadium. Is that I was even laughing about it because it was like so LA, man. Is that when you left the stadium, you see all like the hot dog stands. I was like even laughing about it because I thought, man, this is like so LA right now. Like this is
yeah.
freaking hilarious. I was like laughing, like this is freaking funny. Like, but funny in like in a way that's like I'm not surprised. Like, I'm
Yeah,
saying?
freaking the
Like,
$5 hot dog.
yeah, but there was like 30 of them, and I was like, Jesus, it was like I was getting attacked by hot dog vendors to buy a freaking hot dog with bacon on it. Like, and I was like, wow, is this? I was like, what the hell is going on? And I was like,
I don't
okay,
think I've ever been to a sporting event in LA where it's just like the second you leave, you just got hot dog vendors
yeah,
all around, man. It's just like, oh my god, this is just I don't know what we were doing in San Diego. I mean, I don't know if the taco guy would be out there or whatever, but
yeah. But that made me think about what would like how would San Diego be if we had our own stadium? like what would be like the thing that would have just been like, this is so San Diego, right? But it kind of made me think like we need our own stadium. That was the whole point. Now we need
Yeah.
our own, not renting, from a freaking university, not renting, from a private university, which is, again, Torero has been great,
Yep.
love them, love the, but I think we need something to call it our own, and I just don't see it happening soon. Which, well, that's why I fear like we're gonna have to be playing in that Snapdragon unless the club decides to renew the stadium or the contract with Torero Stadium or USD.
I think I don't think they will. I think right now USD is probably it's probably a little restricting, and now that going into the third season in that in that stadium, you can kind of start seeing all the negatives about that place, right? Like the
Oh
parking
yeah,
is terrible, especially during the school year.
yep,
Um, just the logistical, like the logistical difficulties of having a professional team in a college stadium are really starting to show.
yes,
As much as the Loyals trying to uh make it a great environment and they're doing a great job at it, we're just we're as fans we're left wanting more. And they're trying to give it to us, but it's just not going to happen at Torero.
no, it's not. And remember the mayor of Chula Vista, and I apologize, I forgot her name.
Mary Salas.
There you go.
I'm,
Was
a,
it?
I live in Chula Vista. That's why.
Yeah. Well, was it this? Was it the first game of this year that she came out, or was it? It was this year, right? That she
It
came
was this
out
year.
and she was saying she was welcoming San Diego Loyal to Chula Vista, which to me, I'm just like, why is nobody talking about this? Because, it's funny because let's just say I'm thinking ahead here, but let's just say something is done where like Chula Vista's like has to that door has works. Nothing worked in Mission Valley with Snapdragon. The whole logistics and the whole legal verbiage, with Estee Loyal and Aztec, or SCSU did not work, and then it just not working with Torero, and then now it's like, okay, let's do it in Chula Vista, and how like we're gonna be like Chula Vista as loyal, how we're making fun of Chandler,
Yeah.
we're making fun of it, and we're gonna be like, ST Loyal, but Chula Vista, right? But the
Yeah.
point is that might be our only option right there. But to have a soccer specific stadium, and I think Chula Vista needs to be looked at most def because that might be our only option to me.
Yeah, and I mean, you can kind of see the, with the Sockers when they're moving up north to county. It's
Yes,
I'm afraid if the Sockers, only the Sockers are going to move up to North County, they could definitely lose a little bit of fan base from not they're not going to lose fans. They're not people are going to love them still. People are always going to be there. But as far as people making the drive from south going up north, especially during the week, it's going to be a little difficult. And I'm afraid if something like that were to happen in Chula Vista, where it's like then okay, the reason Mission Valley works so well is because it's very central.
yeah,
Um, and I'm afraid as much as like I would love for the team to be in Chula Vista, man, because it's right down the street from my house. I could probably walk to the game for selfish reasons. I think that would be amazing. Um, but I do feel like if something like that were to happen, it would alienate, the people coming down from Encinitas or like, or Oceanside and
yeah,
La
yeah.
Jolla, and I
True.
just yeah, we just got the. I really hope this spot soccer specific stadium works out, um, in
Yeah,
our favor. So hopefully, I think you're right. It might take about till 2024 to finish construction, but I think they'll probably have another vote here coming up in the next, I mean, I don't know, maybe by the end of the
yeah.
year or something.
But I'm going for the Midway Plus because the reason why they did get picked to go along and go to the next step was because they do. I want to be clear, they do have a lot of housing, and they do have a lot of housing for low income. So
Yep.
that's why the council did choose them as one of the, I guess you want to say the finalists,
Yep.
right? So they do have all that. So that's why I'm trying to tell you that I thought it was a conspiracy when I was listening to this and watching it on the stream that so many uh, college students were calling in and saying, I don't want a stadium, I want housing. And they were choosing the ones that were just no stadium and just the housing. But the Midway, project in the Midway Plus has a lot of housing. And that's they know what San Diego needs, and they know what's going on here, and that's the reason why they did that. And a lot of it was low income, and that's the reason why they did all that, because but they
Yeah.
want to continue the history of a sports or of the sports arena, or the Midway District having a sports arena there, which was
Yep.
that's what they're trying to do, because it does definitely need an upgrade. And then having a modular, standing for ST Loyal, and possibly a brick and mortar one, and having the potential of that being done there, but housing there. That's why I thought it was really odd that everybody was like, a lot of people were saying, there's only a few people that were calling in giving it pro Midway Plus, project, but a lot of them were like, I'm a student and I don't care about sports, and I want housing. If you're a student, and then there's a lot of them are saying, are you even going to be here when you graduate? Are you, like, a lot of them are saying, well, I want to continue living in San Diego, and I want better housing. Are you going to live there? Probably not.
Nope.
And then you're over here, putting so many of them were putting their opinions in that, I want no sports, I want more housing. And again, I thought that somebody was telling these kids to call in, and try to change the mind of certain people, and that's why, to me, I think it was kind of a little bit of a hit that now the city council's like, well, let's just take our time, want to make sure everything's done right, because they want to make sure that the San Diego City taxpayer is
Is
looking,
it?
is aware of all the information,
Yeah.
not that it got pushed through.
And
Which,
yeah,
yeah,
there's nothing wrong with being extra careful, and I agree with you, man. It's just luckily for us, this isn't going up to city vote. This is the council is voting on this. That's it.
yeah,
It's not the voters of San Diego, because that would happen. It's all conglomerate. It's all like, the big money going into this. This is actually the city council, deciding this vote. So it's gonna, I think we have a good chance, especially because there's a lot of people backing Midway Plus.
yeah,
But
yeah. So let's see what happens there. Let's see what happens at Snapdragon. But I do see us playing a couple of years in Snapdragon. But I think the only way it will work is the tailgating opportunity.
yep,
Like, if there's opportunity of tailgating a Snapdragon, I think it'll be a San Diego thing. Like, I think people will get drawn to it. Like, hey, let's go check out the soccer match at the new stadium, and then you can tailgate.
yep.
I'm not, and I don't think I have clear and understanding if there is going to be tailgating there. I'm not sure,
I
but
don't
I'm here.
see I don't see a whole lot of parking in the plans,
Yeah,
to be honest with you.
exactly. So I don't think I see that happening, because their big thing is like they wanted to build stuff on the open space, and I think it's very minimal parking. So I'm not sure how I see tailgating possibilities there, which I think is going to be a major, major negative if that's the case. Uh,
There is some parking next to the stadium, so we might be able to actually use that. But again, depending on how much, it might be like Dignity Health, where since it is a college campus, you know, most of that parking might be, for the college students that are there.
yeah, we don't know.
Yeah.
It is unknown right now, but for sure is what is known is that we need our own stadium.
Yep. Yeah. Well,
um, but let's finish up here in the next couple minutes. But I just want to say that the experience at Carson against LA Galaxy was amazing. Chicharito played. Saw him warming up. Got on the pitch. Being there at an MLS facility, MLS stadium, matching up against an MLS supporters or groups, and showing up what we had. Kudos, much props. Um, it was an amazing atmosphere, and we put ourselves definitely in the map in LA. Pretty much whoever watched that match on TV, Galaxy fans that were there probably telling their friends like, "Hey, man, ST Loyals, man, they bring it. The supporters bring it," and I'm really proud of what we've done. I'm looking forward, how you said about just kind of gets you more pumped and more motivation to continue what we're doing, because I think it was a great positive at the end.
yeah. Yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna, notch that as a win for us. as a club and as a supporter group. So I'm definitely super happy about how that turned out, and I can't wait to do it again next year.
Hell yeah! Hey, so just so we can finish up here, ST Loyal is going to be playing the Tampa Bay Rowdies in Florida. Um, it's not going to be easy for us. We were riding high a couple weeks ago, but right now we are in third positioning with 16 points. Above us is San Antonio and Colorado,
Hmm.
and Phoenix is right below us with 1 point. But they have 7 matches played. We have 8. And San Antonio and Colorado, who are above us at 18 points, they have 7 matches played. They got, each one of those teams, Phoenix, San Antonio, and Colorado, have a game in hand. So, we're dropping, if we lose this match against one of the top clubs in USL, we're going to be, sliding down, the standings. So, um, we
Yeah.
really the team and I know it's going to be a great match, but we got to come out of there with at least with like a draw.
Yeah, you know what? I think I feel very confident going into the rest of the season just because you know, I mean, like you said, this the title of the show is, we're back from a much needed break. And even us as supporters, it was like it's this whole week and a half of not doing a whole lot is really, helping me recharge a little bit, and I'm pretty sure the players are doing the same thing too. I mean, you see some of their Instagram posts, Guido's going out on hikes and stuff like that, and the players are just enjoying their families and just kind of just kind of regrouping after a very, fast start to the season. And now we're gonna go back into this whole like one game a week type rhythm. And I think it's only gonna benefit us as a team for sure. We're definitely gonna be coming up strong. We're gonna be coming up, fast, and I think even hungrier than we were before. Because that 5-2 against Louisville, like I said before, that was a gamble because we were putting our best cards forward against LA, and it didn't work out in our favor, but that's not who we are. When we see them again in the playoffs, in the finals, maybe it's a completely different story. So if anybody's listening that that thought a 5-2, oh man, they got crushed, that was not a representation of what the San Diego Loyal really
No,
are.
not at all. Not at all, and I agree with you. So, and that's why I think this weekend's match is going to be very important. And you obviously want to go out there with the offensive, mentality,
Yeah,
but we have to just go with the game plan and try to get at least some points, a favorable result from that. Again, going against a very respectable club,
yeah,
So
and
yeah,
there's a lot of good stuff coming up, especially for us as a group too. Just someone to bring it up. A big shout out to the Brujos del 78 who filled up the San Diego Soccer's
Mhm.
game, Section 19, right? That's actually going into MASL. They're going into the finals for that too. So, starting May 2nd, they're going to work over in Florida for the Tropics. And then they're going to come back over here for the 8th. So if you got anybody wants to go out, check out the Soccer's, come join the Brujos. And then for us, as a supporter group for the Loyal, we're going to have a watch party again at Three Punk Ales this coming Saturday, the 30th, at starting at 3:30 p.m. So anybody and everybody is welcome. Come out. It's a great venue to watch. I mean, last time they put the big screen down for us, and we're going to have drums, and we're going to be there's going to be a lot more of us than there were against the LA Galaxy because we're not making the trip out to Tampa Bay. Even though I wish I could, because I mean that stadium's actually pretty nice too.
Yeah, they got a really good following there, obviously at the Rowdies. So it's gonna be awesome, to see SC Loyal play against a very respectable club, but we got a big crew. The crew, the loyal fam, I like to say, is growing in San Diego. Is getting more known. Is getting more popular.
Yeah.
People starting to realize what we're about. The supporters, of ST Loyal and the loyal fam. So I mean the loyal fam is growing. So I'm really looking forward to see how the turnout is over at 3.cell, and then obviously getting a good result. Obviously, because obviously you
Yeah,
got more
no,
people.
yeah. Hey, we're gonna start winning, man. I'm telling you, this is just like I strongly believe the team was just uh it was a lot of stuff going on the first
Yeah,
couple weeks, man. I strongly believe that was it. And we're gonna come back and we're gonna be better than ever, dude. Trust me.
yeah. Let's hope so because I'm all for it. So,
Yeah.
all right, everybody. Well, thank you very much for tuning in. We got we'll be more on consistent now, just because we got the LA Galaxy out the way, where our lungs got thrown out on the pitch.
Yep.
So our lung and vocal cords were
You
thrown
know,
out there. So
it's our
we
spring
we
break. It was our spring break.
yeah, exactly. So looking forward to more content coming up soon, and good luck to ST Loyal and the Loyal fam. We out.
All
Peace
right.
out.
Later, guys.